get going here. Okay. So, the book of Amos. As I said yesterday, I like to really preach during the weekday masses on the first reading, just so that you who are here every day get accustomed to a more variety of scriptures. Because there's a lot of great books in the Bible that especially we as Catholics, just don't know about. The book of Amos is a minor prophet. There are 12 minor prophets in the Old Testament. This work is probably one of the earliest works that we have in the Old Testament. And again, Amos is addressing, at this time, the historical context, the northern kingdom. The northern kingdom, and then we had the southern kingdom. That's where the temple is. Okay, the northern kingdom set up their own temple, and they set up their own priesthood because the northern kingdom didn't like the southern kingdom. The northern kingdom didn't want its people to have a pilgrimage down to the southern kingdom to worship in their temple. So the northern kingdom set up their own temple and set up their own priesthood. Very problematic, because it's not from the line of David. Okay? That's why we have this history, and we're going to see this history played out in the New Testament with the Jews and the Samaritans. The Samaritans are the descendants. There's a whole story behind the Samaritans, but essentially their greatest grief with each other is the fact that the Samaritans have their own temple. They call themselves, again, children of Israel, but yet they have their own temple. In the Jewish mindset, it's idolatry. But it's not just the problem of worship with the northern kingdom. It's also they were very much more wealthier than the southern kingdom. And so they suffer from materialism. It's a problem. I love the book of Amos because it's a problem. They're dealing with things that we as American Catholics can relate to. We have a lot of wealth, and the wealth becomes our dependency. The wealth becomes our savior. And so as we look at this is kind of like the last part of the book of Amos. We hear this. We hear things like, we will diminish the containers for measuring, to add to the weights, and fix our scales for cheating. So there was some, improper business transactions going on here. We will buy the lowly man for silver, buying people. Here's the worst of it. And the poor man for sandals, and even the refuse of the wheat we will sell. So this idea, again, of the lack of dignity of the human person, and this desire to accompany wealth. And then the second part here, God announces his punishment. I will turn your feasts into mourning, all your songs into lamentations. This is the worst of it here. And make every head bald. What did you do? I'm getting there too. Some people say, they look at the Old Testament and they say, God's an angry, vengeful God in the Old Testament. And then they'll appeal to a passage like this to back up their point. But he's not. He's the same God in the Old Testament as he is in the New Testament. What changes is our understanding of him. What changes is that the more that he reveals of himself. So the New Testament is the fulfillment, the culmination of God's revelation to us of who he truly is. And how does God want us to associate with him? Not the vengeful God, not a God of anger. All this, even the threats and stuff, it's all what? It's all divine mercy. It's what? It's to draw the people. It's to show the people the reality of the condition that they're in and the reality of the condition that they're going to head to if they continue with these practices. The love of materialism is going to lead us to a life of sadness and depression. We know it. We see it. It's happening right now in our very eyes. We're in this endless cycle of accumulating things, being satisfied for a couple minutes, and then having that desire again to accumulate more things. I tell the kids in high school, if this phone, the phone that you have was so good and you needed that phone and it's so great, why next year or 2 years do you desire for another one? It's a false sense of hope, a false sense of comfort. And it's just going to lead to a life of misery. That's what God's trying to get us away from. And so today on the Sacred Heart of Jesus, we see the divine mercy. We see the desire of God, this constant desire to dwell, to sit, to continue to be with sinners for the purpose of giving them life and life in its fullness. It's God's greatest desire. And again, it's revealed that's what he really wants from us. He opens up our heart. He opens up his heart, and opens up his heart in his crucifixion and his passion to show that he will lay down his life. He will do whatever it takes to get us into a relationship with him and to show us how much he loves us. And again, in the prophet of Amos and in the Old Testament, they see all these bad things as a punishment from God, but really, in reality, it's still the love of God. It's just to show them the error of their ways, to show us the error of our ways, and to come back and to embrace his heart. May God bless you.